Welcome back, y'all. So today, gonna be installing a new steering wheel in the Cobra. This is LMR's, I think they call it the GT350R version. It has a nice perforated leather around the sides, and then Alcantara or suede or whatever on the bottom, as well as the top. The cool GT350 red ring. I always thought that was kind of cheesy until we had the Raptor, and I like that. Plus, I think the suede fits better, or the Alcantara fits better with the Cobra interior because of the suede in the seats. Got that on Father's Day recently. They had sales. I got a bunch of stuff. I got some stuff. I got new tires and whatnot. But I also picked up a new shift knob. This is the factory one. Mine, as you can see, was very worn. I've already got the new one in. I didn't film it because honestly, it just, I don't need to show you how to thread a shifter on. That's pretty simple, but you can see in the how it's like the texture's back, and it, a cheap part, it's like $40, but basically I just was like, oh well, hell, it's a cheap fix for something. I guess I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna be putting on some. Got the Nitto NT5R2s. 305 45 17, so essentially the same size as the Mickeys that I've got on now that are all chewed up. Anyway, so this is a pretty simple install for the most part. I did end up renting out a steering wheel puller from AutoZone because, much like the little pipe cutter I used in the transmission cooler video, I haven't used one of these in like 20 years, and probably be another 20 years before I use it again, so I just rent it out. Anyway, I'm gonna get set up and then we'll get going. Okay, so first thing you gotta do is disconnect your battery, because you definitely don't want to have an airbag go off if you happen to short something out. And in a Cobra in particular, it wouldn't be a good day, because also then you have to try and find a Cobra airbag. So which most cars that get parted out are because of wrecks, and the airbags have probably deployed. So that would probably be a hard part to replace if I had an accident with that airbag. So I'm gonna get the battery disconnected real quick. It's a 8mm. I'm just going to disconnect the negative. There. That plastic in between there. Then you need a jeweler's type screwdriver, which I don't have out. We just get these little, there's one of these on each side. Right there, as you can see, there's a little notch. Oop. Get the other side real quick. Where'd you go? Well, I'll deal with that later. I do believe those are 8mm as well. There's a bolt holding the airbag in on each side. So, grab my 8 again. Look at that. side. Then it just pulls out. And there's one connector back here that clips to one place, and disconnect this side first. It connects in two different locations. It's kind of like a split. There's one. Try not to pull on it too hard. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so this has a split. This one connected there, and this one, it is supposed to just come out. But it's in there pretty good. So I'm gonna work on getting that this connector out so I can get the airbag and set it to the side, and then we'll start working on pulling the actual wheel off. So I'll be back. What we did to get the airbag off, as you can see, this connector here, that's this one, and then this one, I went ahead and did it. You don't have to yet, but it was connected up here because these two wires will stay in between. The rest of the stuff will come off with the steering wheel. I need to get the Torx bit for that, and I'll be back. Alright, so it's a T50. Now, this is the part where you have to get the steering wheel puller to press this off. So let me get that and I'll be back. Alright, so got the right bolts I need. So you'll have two that each one will thread into these two holes here, and then this will press against the actual steering shaft. And you just basically tighten this down so it pulls it apart, or it separates the two with the wrench on the end. And that's pretty much all there is to it. So I'm going to get this on the time lapse. Okay, so if y'all are wondering why all the extra editing, well, so here are the two bolts you pull the steering wheel. You put bolt the steering wheel puller into. This one, obviously, at some point the steering wheel on my car had been taken off, and this hole got boogered up pretty good because this is just aluminum. So basically, when I was trying to pull it out, this bolt would pop, just get yanked out of the threads. So I ended up drilling and tapping it for the next size up bolt in the kit. And there we go. So now we got to get all the stuff off of the factory steering wheel to put on here. I haven't done this in a long time, so this is gonna, I'll just tell you as I go. Right now, you know, you got to get the 4 bolts for the 2 for each cruise control. There's one down there, one up there, same. The wiring, those are going to be Allen keys to get those off, and then we'll go from there. And I'm going to have to unhook the wiring and feed it through. Not that big of a deal, but then it's the once you get these out of the way, the bolts that should be visible. So anyway, this is going to be kind of hard to get in film, but I will show you what all I needed once I get done. Okay, so started with the 2 for the cruise control, the 4 Allen bolts for the electronics, which I used a 3/16 Allen head. Once you slid those 2 things out the way, these 2 Phillips head screws were there, and then I just lifted the old steering wheel up off of this. So I need both hands. Okay, so you just got to make sure you get the wires out of the way so they're not getting pinched for the cruise control. Then get these threaded. Of course, fitment is not quite perfect, but I have to play with it a little just to get the holes to line up. Actually, let me do this first. I didn't, and I need to just go ahead and, there's shavings in there from when I had to tap that hole. Now, you kind of gotta set it in there just right, and then everything should line up. Whether or not it does, it's a horse of a different color. Sorry if my head keeps getting in the way. See, this really is not a complicated process at all. It really, and I would recommend you just do exactly what I did, which is lift the old steering wheel off and just put the new one right back on while it's fresh in your mind. And you won't have any problems. Doesn't take a lot of power to get these Allen keys or Allen bolts in. You do want to be careful with the frame because just like the factory one, it's aluminum, so these steel bolts will strip it. There we go. Next, I will say this isn't quite perfect, what I would call perfect fitment, but oops. Let me see how this side is. This one fits, looks like it fits a little bit better. Oh, that would help if I did that. See, even I forgot already that this piece is supposed to go. There we go. There we go. I screwed that one up. That's okay. Another bolt. This guy out of here. Oh, that one kind of slid in there and crank in a nook. Okay. Alright, so back in the car, make sure to feed those 2 wires through this hole on the passenger side of the steering wheel. Line it up with the steering column. And we will use the bolt to just run it on there. What you can do doesn't take a whole lot, but what I'll do is I'll just back it out and then see how much further I got to go, so I have an idea. Takes a few extra minutes, but just nice to know where you're at progress-wise. Because you don't want to not get it on all the way. That wouldn't be good. A little bit further. Now the other trick is, this might be based on the fact that it's not quite the exact same as the factory, maybe a little different, but it's on there. I just gotta tighten it down one more time. Okay, that's on. Go ahead and get the cruise wiring hooked in. Forgot to clip that in. Oh boy, that's no big deal. Just slide that joker on there. Get the airbag close so you can clip on the connector. There, that's in. Get these bolts started. I'm going to check from the windshield angle. Yep. Horn contacts are still there. Okay. Almost done. Put these caps back on. Oh, I guess still got to find the other one. That fell in somewhere here. Okay, well, regardless, hook the battery back up. See if the pouring works. Oh, help if I turn the key on. Horn works, so it's probably hooked up right. There's the other clip, and that's a wrap. Oh yeah, I don't want to touch it too much because my hands are dirty, but I mean, it's, you know, other people have said it's not quite perfect, like, you know, it's obviously not exactly the same color, you can see, but it's far better than the, you know, rotting, peeling factory one I have. And I've always liked the idea of a suede Alcantara, whatever you want to call it, steering wheel. All in all, not too bad. Took me about a little over an hour. Most of that was because of, you know, part of that was because I had to tap that hole. It's really not that complicated of a job otherwise. So anyway, another project down, and I'll be back.